Every year, Apple releases new and shiny updates for the iPhone, and 2022 was no different. This year, they introduced iOS 16, and I have some thoughts. I'm not saying I'm not impressed with iOS 16. It's pretty nice, especially the new lock screen customization on iOS 16. I love that feature. But when I look at my iPhone, I think that this thing deserves a lot more features. So let's have a look at features that were expected in iOS 16, but sad enough, they weren't able to make it and will hopefully be part of iOS 17. The very first one is dock. And no, I'm not talking about some UI changes. I'm just asking Apple to let us add more apps in dock. I think it would make total sense if Apple would let me choose the number of apps that I would like to have on my dock. I'm not saying what we have already is bad, but I just feel that this is some space that Apple can utilize in a better way. Along with changes in dock, I also feel that split screen multitasking should now also make appearance on iOS. And to be honest, I was genuinely expecting this one in iOS 16, but Apple said, nah. Ain't happening, bro. I love screen splitting on my Mac and I use it all the time. And it does get credit for enhancing my productivity. I would love to get that feature or at least something similar on my iPhone as well. Now don't get me wrong, Apple did introduce PIP mode back in iOS 14, but let's be honest, it is limited to apps that are streaming video content, and that too not all of them. I'm talking about ability where I can text my friends on iMessage and watch some anime along with that. I just hope they integrate this feature in next generation of iOS. Now, before moving on, I really think that I'm being too demanding over here. But when I look at my device, in fact not just 13 series, but when I look at 12 series as well, they are really powerful. And these devices can support this feature. A feature that would let me connect my iPhone to an external display via Lightning to USB-C cable, after which I would get access to macOS inspired UI on that display. Now hold on. I know what you're thinking. I'm not talking about iPhones to have macOS built inside of it. No, I'm not talking about that. Neither I'm talking about power of video editing, image editing, graphics designing. No, I'm not talking about any of that. But instead what I'm talking about here is a platform that is first of all inspired by macOS, and secondly that would let me do basic stuff. For example, emailing, presentations and browsing internet and all that basic stuff. Just imagine how cool would it be. I hope Apple is listening. This next feature was also rumored to be part of iOS 16, but for some reason it didn't make it. Yes, I'm talking about interactive widgets. Apple introduced widgets in iOS 14 and it is great. It just totally revamped our home screen setups. But 2 years from that, now I feel that they do lack one thing: being interactive. I would love to have the play, pause, next indicators on the music widget itself so that I do not have to open music or maybe access the control panel or maybe access the notification tray just to play the next song. The struggle is real. Next up, I have no idea why, but iPhones still lack on having the basic functionality of letting us pause a video recording. Until that happens, we'll have to rely on third-party camera applications that, first of all, do not have as good camera quality as the iPhone's default camera app, and secondly, they greet us with a lot of ads. I mean, just lot of ads. That's one feature that I would definitely love to have on iOS 17. Now, we all know that iPhones are a beast when it comes to RAM management. In fact, a lot of people that I know don't even bother closing any application and continue to use their iPhones normally. This might not sound problematic, but if your iPhone is running slow, then this might be a reason for that. So a dedicated button that would force close all applications that are running in background would definitely help a lot of users. Now this can be a little controversial because some developers say that iOS is smart enough to tackle with background activities on its own and others say it isn't. But anyways, I think that this cute little button would definitely be of huge help to the users whose iPhones are running slow and are lagging. And talking about the iPhone running slow, if you have one, then make sure you check out our video on how to fix that. Link in description below the like button. iOS 16 brought a lot of customization to lock screens of our iPhones. The redesigned clock, along with cute little widgets, yeah, that's my favorite feature of iOS 16. But I was expecting a redesigned control center on iOS 16 as well. Maybe integration of app widgets to control center would have been me demanding too much from Apple, but at least a visual overhaul would have been nice. I kind of feel bored with the current control center and it definitely needs redesigning to do, considering it was introduced in iOS 11. So that was it. What do you think should be part of iOS 17 or should be removed from iOS in the next update? Do let me know in the comment sections down below. If you like what you watched, then make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button and the bell icon as well. And if you'd like to stay updated with everything Apple, then make sure you download the iGeeksBlog app from the App Store. This is me, Yash, signing off, and I'll see you in the next one.